What's going on, everybody? Kor here from KorrGaming, and we are back in World of Warcraft checking out my user interface today. This is going to be my user interface showcase. We are sitting here in the garrison, and I'm going to talk real briefly about my out-of-combat user interface, and then we're going to go hit a training dummy, and I can show off my in-combat user interface a little bit. Alright, so here on my non-combat non-combat interface, you can see predominantly what makes up this screen is LVUI. One on my screen is part of LVUI. My chat frames in the bottom of the screen. My action bars all over the screen. We've got one right here for my Naga. One right here, just a miscellaneous crap. My main two action bars, which have my primary abilities on them. And then a hidden action bar right over yonder, which has like buffs and you know, like spam for my guild recruiting and things like that and professions. Alright. Next up we have buffs, also part of LVUI, and of course my unit frames, my target frame, my player frame, things like that are all part of LVUI. Next up I want to talk about SCADA. SCADA is my damage meter. What I love about SCADA versus Recount and other add-ons is that I can have many windows open, and this is one of the more accurate tracking of damage and healing. So here we have my damage meter, my healing meter, and a miscellaneous meter right up here that allows me to just, you know, I use this during raids so I can see, like, well, who's breaking my CCs, things like that, who's taking damage from what, who's taking damage from what spells, alright, things like that. Tell me when, right above my player frame here, we see my Divine Protection logo and a Sacred Shield logo. This is buff tracking, in-combat buff tracking. When I hit one of them, now you can see it's grayed out. That's telling me that Divine Shield is not, or Divine Protection is not usable. Divine Protection. Up at the top of the screen, you can see a list of my other add-ons. This is called Titan Panel. I use it to track a lot of things. My durability for one, my base for another, amount of gold on my server and other servers. I don't know about other servers, actually, but, well, not going to get into that. Location, my coordinates, so if anyone's trying to find me, I can just be like, I'm at 4759, and don't group up with me, I'm in queue for something. And then, of course, XP per hour. I just leave this up there because I'm going to need it eventually anyway, you know. And also when I make new alts, I like to, you know, I like to just be able to copy the profile from Corbin, and you know, that way my XP thing is already up there. The right hand side of the screen we see a list of other add-ons: Phoenix Style, Raid Buff Status, Healbot, Ultaholic, Mr. Robot, Atlas Loot, and Mogget. I'm not going to get into any of those. I might do a new feature, add-on feature, kind of like every week. I might try and do an add-on video every week now for World of Warcraft, because there's not a whole lot of content to talk about in game right now, especially considering I do not have Legion beta yet, or alpha. Next up on my screen, you can see Exorcist Raid Tools. Now, what is that? Where is that? I'm going to type /ERT so I can show you the interface for that. ERT. This is a long laundry list of things that it offers. Invite tools. Let's go to that. Invite tools. So when I'm a raid leader, anyone in my guild can whisper me INV right there. It's the keywords. Invite guild members only. INV, and then they will automatically be invited to the raid. Things like that. There's a marks bar. I don't use these right now because I just use hotkeys for markers. There's special boss mods like the radar for Archimond, Infernals for Archimond, things like that. And then there's a battle res timer, which is right up here at the top of the screen. And raid cooldown tracker, which is right here. You can see legendary tank. This is where I track major healing cooldowns, major damage cooldowns, things like that. Right over here, I track miscellaneous cooldowns like Lay on Hands and Stampeding Roar, Gorfine's Grasp. And then down here at the bottom of the screen, I track all damage reduction cooldowns, or external cooldowns as we call them, like Hand of Sacrifice, or let's find another one in this list, Iron Bark, Pain Suppression, things like that. Finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about in my non-combat screen here is my viewport. Now, what is a viewport? A viewport is actually what you see on my screen. If you ignore this bottom part and this top part, in the middle there, that is my entire screen. You might look at this bottom part here and say, why do you have, like, looks like 20% of your screen covered up? 20% of my screen is not actually covered up. What that viewport does is it pushes up the screen. What it actually does is it makes my screen a little bit smaller, but it also widens it, so I have larger peripheral vision, which is huge for raid leading. Very important that I can see what's going on during the fight. So I have a viewport, a bottom bar that I scroll up about this far so that none of my add-ons down here take up screen real estate, and then I also have a bar that comes right down here behind Titan panel, because I can't see anything behind Titan panel anyway, so I might as well put a viewport up there, or put a viewport bar up there, so it shrinks the screen and there's nothing hiding up there. Not that I ever worry about that too much. So I have very little add-ons covering up my screen. I've got the cooldown tracker right here, cooldown tracker up here, rebirth tracker right here, this SCADA meter, and then my target frame, my player frame, and of course my main action bar is covering up part of my screen. So these are all things that I need to see, and of course my buffs, things that I really want to be looking at a lot of the time. All right, let's head over to a training dummy right here in the back of the garrison, and I can show you just a couple more things in combat. So we're going to start the in combat thing. I'm going to pop Divine Protection. Now you can see down here at the bottom of the screen it says 08, 07, 6, 5. So it tracks raid cooldowns, telling me that when they're active. So I know that this is active right now. If it was like Tranquility up here at the top of the screen, it would show Tranquility and tell me it's still active, it's still active. Okay, now it's on cooldown for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, same thing. I'm going to pop Hand of Sacrifice. Can I do that? I cannot do that. So I will not show you Hand of Sacrifice. We already know about Divine Protection, how that shows up. When I hit Sacred Shield, that's how it shows up right there. And also, I'll talk about it in 25 seconds when it starts to run out, but I have an animation so that catches my eye, so I know to reapply it. On the right side of the screen here, this is my scrolling combat text. This is Mick scrolling combat text. I'm going to put a heal on myself quick, see if it works. Let's head over to a damaging dummy. So, here's my damage taken and my healing taken. There's the Sacred Shield. It shakes like that so that I know I need to reapply it. Now I reapply it. Shows me my duration. Divine Protection's off cooldown, so I can pop that again. This right here is a weak aura. I use a couple of weak auras, but this weak aura tracks my class trinket, the Librum of Vindication, so that it tracks the cooldown right there, and it also shows me how much health I need to lose in order for it to proc. I'm going to turn around so it can hit me a little bit. There, it proc. Bingo. So that's how that weak aura works. That is pretty much all I've got for my in-combat text. The rebirth tracker shows up right up here at the top of the screen. There will be a timer next to it and a number showing me how many are available and how long until the next one is available. I also have the cooldown trackers all over the screen that track all sorts of cooldowns in combat. And then finally, one major thing that I don't want to join a dungeon to show you guys is called Deadly Boss Mods. It's a mandatory raiding add-on for pretty much everybody. And that will pop up on the screen showing timers and stuff for boss fights. Alright? I hope you found this video useful. Somebody did request it, so I wanted to get it out as quickly as possible, but with all my crap that happened last week, it just wasn't going to happen last week. So, thank you for watching this Warcraft Wednesday video. This is my user interface showcase again. If you liked it, leave a comment below, leave a like or a subscribe on the channel. If you want to learn more about World of Warcraft add-ons, please let me know in the comments below, and I will start doing weekly add-on videos showcasing various add-ons that I use and I think are important. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Check out my Heroes of the Storm videos. I'm going to do a specialist series for the next week. I'm going to hit up every single specialist over the next 6 days. I do own them all except for Nazebo, and Nazebo is free this week. And then Zool, the newest specialist, the newest Diablo specialist, comes out next week, and I'll be purchasing him with gold on Tuesday so that I can bring him to you guys right away, give you guys a first impression video, and then try and perfect him over the week and hopefully bring you another video later on that week. Alright, thanks again for watching, and I will see you all next time.